What is going on, you guys? I'm coming to you today with a Star Wars Legion build using Luke and Leia. I am going to be using Tabletop Admirals Builder today. And basically, if you hadn't seen my last tournament report, it was kind of the shorter format because I had multiple games. I had brought Vader and Veers to a tournament where everybody was using Veers and an AT-ST with a mix of Stormtroopers and Flame Troopers. And this seems to be the new hotness right now. But I really don't think that the larger vehicles are as competitive. I feel like they're fun, and fun is great, but I don't think they're as competitive. So what I expect to happen is I think more people will transition away from vehicles and more towards troopers because of the objectives and how there are a lot of objectives that large vehicles can't contribute to. So with that being said, I figure, you know, if I'm going to spend that many points on one unit, I'd rather it be at least a trooper like Luke. And having Leia just come out, I want to use both of them. So the reason here is that with the same kind of strategy that I used for Veers and Vader, what I think worked about that was that Veers could stay in the back with the troopers, kind of stay on the objective and issue orders, while Vader could almost like act as a lone operative and go out and slice people down. That being said, I think the same thing will hold true here with Luke. I think Luke will be able to kind of be like the spy who's, you know, sneaking around behind, you know, the enemy lines and getting in and slicing them to pieces, while Leia stays back and issues the commands for the most part. So with that being said, let's take a look at how I want them to work. Leia, I'm just going to leave her without any upgrades, but this is a flexible build. If you were going to give her something, I think a very good option for her. I think Esteemed Leader is great if she is going to be your only commander, but since I also have Luke, I don't really need her to have that, because I don't think she can kind of stay a little bit behind. But then Commanding Presence, I think, would work for her if she's going to work in that role. I don't know if you usually will really need to run both of these on the same character, because I think if you're going to be issuing orders from kind of farther behind, you're less likely to need the Guardian from your nearby troops. So, but for this build, I'm not going to put anything on Leia. Luke, however, will get a couple of things. First off, I think Luke really wants to have Force Reflexes, even though it's expensive, just so you can gain that dodge token. But additionally, I'm going to give him Jedi Mind Trick. And the reason I'm going to give him Jedi Mind Trick... Oops, wait. Let's give him both of them there. Force Reflexes there. The reason I'm giving him Jedi Mind Trick is this is one I normally wouldn't use. I don't think I've ever used this one before. But combining this with Leia, especially if it's a turn where Leia does her free shot from her command card, Luke could be pretty far forward. Leia could be far back, making that long-range shot. And then Luke could toss on, you know, a couple of extra suppression tokens, and then also shoot them. You could end up putting force suppression on somebody, which could even make like a Veers panic. So I think that's pretty cool. Not necessarily going to happen, but if it did happen, that would be amazing. So I think that much makes it worth it. I think just the chance of something really fun, like being able to make a General Veers panic, would be really worth it. But it's interesting. I had a lot of fun using you know, Force Choke with Vader, and so this one works very different. But this is just great if you really want to make sure somebody, like, or maybe you want to force somebody to drop an objective token or something like that. This might help push them to do that. All right. That being said, now let's add some units. We are going to add some Fleet Troopers. We'll go ahead and add order of Fleet Troopers over here. Now our Fleet Troopers, I'm not going to use too many of them, because they only have the range 2. They're kind of going to be staying a little bit closer to Leia, maybe a little bit farther forward, but their general idea is to kind of get into position, hold objectives, and then try and do standby and kind of wait for people to move into their field of fire. One important thing with Fleet Troopers is you have to have terrain. You have to have blocking terrain. You need terrain that's taller than just barricades. Otherwise, Fleet Troopers aren't going to work. If you're just using, you know, your basic, you know, starter set with just barricades, then there's almost no point to run Fleet Troopers, because their whole point is to hide like behind corners and buildings, and then when somebody comes around, that's when they, you know, when somebody makes that move to come around, they get to shoot first. So that much is really going to help them, and they're going to be able to shoot first with an aim token. So Fleet Troopers, the first thing I want to give them, because they're like, their big thing is to be able to do a standby and gain an aim token is targeting scopes. So we want them to be able to, to be able to get more dice rerolled for those targeting scopes. In theory, if they're in a perfect position, you could have them aim and then standby. Then they'd end up with 2 aim tokens. And then if you had 2 aim tokens, you'd be able to roll up to 6 dice. Considering that even a bare bones unit of fleet troopers is rolling 8 white dice, you're really going to need those rerolls. I think targeting scopes is almost a must-have for these guys. It's really a nice option. We will go ahead and now you have 2 options here. You have the Barrage Trooper, which is okay. The problem I have with the Barrage Trooper is, for one, you have to reload it because it's an exhaustible. Blast is pretty nice. It's definitely nice to have blast, and granted, impact is great. One thing this build is not going to focus is we're not going to really have a whole lot of impact. We're not going to have a whole lot of stuff to deal with vehicles. Just specifically because I think that's the meta is going to shift away from that. So this is going to be more of a list to go up against the meta. So we will go with a Scattergun Trooper. This is going to just sync up with their natural range 2. They're going to stay consistent with that, and and it's not bad. It's 2 red dice, so pretty solid. And you're getting Pierce 1 added to that attack, which Pierce is just so good. And we'll add the extra Fleet Trooper. So we're going to be rolling. We're going to have 6 people in this. 6 times. We could roll 12 dice with this unit. So we really need that targeting scopes for the aim. All right, and I think we're going to run 2 of those. So we'll duplicate that unit. We'll run 2 just like that. Now we are going to add some Rebel Troopers. We will start off with just a regular Rebel Trooper. We're going to have one that's just bare bones. And this just is attributed to having the most units is always a good thing. Having more units, definitely useful. I will duplicate them. Now on our second Rebel Trooper, we are going to make them a little bit more interesting. We'll add a Z6 because Z6 is amazing. You're getting 6 white dice for 1 guy at range 3. Z6 is one of the best units in the game. It's more than it's the equivalent of a fully loaded Stormtrooper unit, just for 1 guy. And then we'll add an extra Rebel Trooper as well. And because we got all those white dice, we are also going to want targeting scopes. Just so we can get those extra rerolls. Hopefully, we can get some aims as often as possible. Okay, and I think we're going to go with 2 of these units as well, so we'll duplicate that guy. So now we have 5 core. We don't exactly have 6 core, but 5 core is not bad. We got 2 Z6 Rebel Troopers, a Bare Bones Rebel Trooper, and 2 Scattergun Fleet Troopers, and they're all pretty heavily loaded. None of them have grenades. I think grenades are less important for these guys just because they already have black dice. Impact is nice if you want to go with the impact grenades. But again, we're not really looking to combat armor builds. We're looking to combat the troopers and the swarm that is likely to emerge. So what else is coming out? What else are we going to put in here? Well, we could go with 6 core, but instead I want to add an ATRT. And I think we're going to add a couple of AT. Now we have some flexibility here. One of the things you could do is you could add a laser cannon ATRT. Totally would work. You could do that, but those are expensive. And a point again, this is a flexible. But I'm going to go with rotary blaster. Rotary blaster is just really solid for dealing with troops. I mean, you're getting 5 black dice from that, and you already have the offensive surge to crit. So it's a good solid weapon. 5 dice attack is very good. And this can work against armor. ATRTs are generally decent against armor anyway because of the surge to crit. So they have a chance to do that. Again, if you need to, also so can Luke. Luke has impact and pierce 2. And Luke has surge to crit as well. So Luke and the ATRTs can deal. We're adding a second ATRT though. All right, and the second one we'll go down here for hardpoint, and we'll give this one the flamethrower because the swarm is real, and the flamethrower is gonna be 2 black with blast and fixed front and spray. So it's going to ignore cover. This one is just so scary for those trooper units when they start coming in. So if your opponent has got their own fleet troopers kind of set up, I know I ran some snow troopers this weekend, and just the flamethrower there isn't even as bad as this. He's just the 1 black die, but it's very scary when you see this coming in. So that is 799 points. Again, this is a flexible list. You could drop that naked Rebel Trooper unit if you wanted to upgrade some more of this stuff, and you wanted to give these ATRTs like maybe the range 4 cannons. You could do that. You could figure some things out. But I like this. This is giving us 2 commanders, 5 core, and 2 supports. So that's 9 activations is not shabby. That's absolutely not shabby. You can really squeeze a lot of activations out of the Rebels, especially if you want to run naked ATRTs, which isn't necessarily a great way to run because their rifle is only 2 white, so you're kind of running them with the idea of that you'd want them to sneak around and jump into melee with people. But so I don't necessarily recommend that unless you're just doing it for fun. But ATRTs are still fairly cheap, and they let you get a lot more activations out of the Rebels. So let's look at command cards here. Now, I think for command cards, we have there's some flexibility on what we could do, but I think for this list, I will probably just use all of Luke's and all of Leia's. So we'll start off with standing orders. We have to have standing orders. One of the things you might want to consider is throwing some generics in there in case you do lose your commanders. It's possible that sending Luke kind of far forward off by himself, he could get ambushed. And then if they zoom in and do take out Leia, the problem is you'll be stuck using only standing orders. But I think that risk is minimal considering that it's unlikely you'll lose both commanders. But also, even that being said, you might not want all of Luke's command cards. But let's look at the 3. So for the 3 pip, this is the one that I think could potentially go if you wanted to just swap this one out for Assault. Because Assault, you could just have Leia issue this one as well. But I like this one because it gives Luke that dodge token early. He may not be in range of being able to give out 2 units if you do send him really far forward. But what's great about this is even if he's not, it's still a really good idea to, it's nice to be able to give Luke that dodge token early. So in case, you lose the bid and Luke gets shot against first, he's still going to have the dodge and then therefore the defensive surge. So I'm still going to go ahead and use this one. Then his 2 pip, this one is pretty useful. This one also can just give Luke a dodge token because you can make him one of the ones that you issue. So again, these are really useful for like Commando Luke or and then you definitely have to have Son of Skywalker. Son of Skywalker is just crucial. Absolutely love it. So yeah, no doubt about that. Now let's look at Leia's. Just somebody have to save our skins. She's going to be one giving commands, so I think all of the Leia's are definitely going to be there. This one allows you to activate 2 times in a row. So this one you want to really wait until you have that, like all those units are crunched in around an objective, and then you're going to, you're going to activate 2 in a row. That one is really good. I would suggest maybe waiting, just keeping in mind that like Leia's going to be able to remove suppression, so. If you really want her to go first, you might, you'll forfeit her ability. Like if you want to go first and second, you'll probably end up forfeiting her ability to remove suppression unless you have some extra carryover suppression from a previous turn. But that one is definitely nice. I like the ability to do 2 activations in a row. No Time for Sorrows. This one's just awesome. This one's really, really cool and very, very good for that whole strategic, we need to get in position and we don't have the shot. And a speed 1 move is a little bit, it's not that far, but it could, if somebody's done the measurements and they're like, all right, you're just out of range. Well, now I'm not, because now I can aim and shoot. So No Time for Sorrows there. And then, of course, Coordinated Bombardment. I like this one better than Veers's version, primarily because of the fact that you're getting 3 shots, you're getting more suppression, and you're getting more dice. You're getting 6 dice as opposed to 4, so that much is good. So definitely putting that one in there, and that is the list. I will put a link to this in the description below. But yeah, that's the list, guys. I do also want to announce there is a giveaway winner. So I want to throw a big congratulations to Guillermo Velasco. You have just won a $20 gift card for an expansion of your choice in the form of a Cool Stuff gift card. So just go ahead and send me a message. Go to the About page on my YouTube channel, and there's a whole Contact Me button there, and send me a message with your contact information, and we'll get you squared away. But for everybody else, there is going to be another round of the giveaway starting very, very soon. So I want to just remind you guys to always be subscribed and leave a comment to make sure that you are entered for any future giveaways. It's as simple as that. I'll do a print view here, And there we go. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Crabbok.com. Check out my Discord. Keep putting your paint jobs up there. Have you painted your Leia and Fleet Troopers yet? You know, put them up there. I'd like to do some more showcasing of the community paint jobs. It's always nice to be able to take a look and see what other people are putting together, even if you don't think it's very good. I've got some that are very, very bad. I think some of my Fleet Troopers came out pretty good. I'm still working on my second set, though. So let me know what you guys are painting, and thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.